You keep cutting fat and you keep looking soft every time you look in the mirror. I've been there. So this is generally what happens, right? For a lot of people that start off quite big, like me, hello, a lot of people that start big, what happens is you start off dieting really well whenever you can get everything right in your favor in terms of the food options, how you diet, the schedule and everything. When things line up perfectly, you diet really well and the fat comes off. But lo and behold, you've now cut from, for example, from 100 and whatever kilos down to 60, 50, 70 kilos, and you look the same, but just a bit of a shrunker version. So you look all right in clothes, people would compliment you, you feel a lot fitter, you feel fantastic, but when that shirt comes off, you look in the mirror and you just see like a shrunken version of your own image that you saw before. So the stuff you promised yourself that, you know, you're gonna be in great shape, big shoulders, chest, back, arms, whatever, none of it's really there. What's really happened? So also these people are the same people, again, I've been there before, are the same people that are very, very good at dieting because from a young age or whenever they've been fat from or a bit heavier, they are taught to and they've told themselves that the fat needs to come off. So they're very, very good at dieting, but when it comes to actually building muscle, the skills are nowhere near. So what happens is they binge, okay? They explode in eating. You can't eat properly, you don't know how to, and you've restricted yourself for quite a while, and before you know it, the scale creeps up to a point where you're fat, and what do? You cut again. And now, every time you cut, okay, there's a bit of your metabolism, there's something in there, something else, you know, the minerals, something gets taken away, it gets chipped at every single time. So the first time you cut down a good substantial amount, you lose a good amount of weight, and it's been, okay, a walk in the park. Second time you do it, that was okay, I had to use a bit more willpower. Third time you do it, this is failed bulks by the way, so I'm saying every time you put weight on and come back down. It's fine, and then eventually you try your hardest to diet, everything just seems to be against you. Your leptin is low, your ghrelin is super high, so basically any food that you used to basically be able to eat before and you'd feel full, it's no longer making you feel full anymore. And you're reaching out for food constantly as well. There's a reason for that. First of all, extended failed bulks, right, followed by poor training, and then when you do strip the nutrients away from it, over time, what do you think that's going to do? Muscle loss. I'm the perfect case study, okay, for this. A few years ago, or last year to be fair, I was about 68 kilograms and I was able to do 35 kilograms on weighted dips for 6 reps for my first set. Okay, that was something I was really happy with. And come now, I guess, for the last few months, I've been able to do 25 kilos for 5, 25 kilos for 4, and I am slightly heavier, I completely understand, but the underlying issue is that very same thing. I've not spent long enough in a bulk or a consistent productive bulk that I've been in deficit for so long that my body had no use of that muscle and had no other way apart from get rid of some mass. So more stressed, hormones all over the place, not feeling full, training is lackluster because you're not spending any productive time in a gaining sort of zone. What do you think that will do to your physique? When that shirt comes off, what happens? You look like the smaller version of yourself, often worse over time, every time you bulk wrong and cut a large amount of fat. And for these guys, right, the real fix isn't get lean again. And then when you obviously start getting lean, the cycle repeats where you're having to eat less and this, that, whatever, you're struggling with adherence with food and all that. That's not going to work anymore, all right? You've burnt it out, that's fine. Chances are you could start a cut and you'll be able to lose fat for a little while, but can you get the same success as you did with that first time with a certain amount of ease, even though your systems are rock solid in place? No, it's not going to work. So the real fix actually is finally shutting up and building some muscle. That'll be the real fix. You need to be able to eat more. So with basically muscle gain, what would it come with? Okay, the benefits of number one, you actually are doing this to gain muscle, so you have that big ticked off. Second of all, obviously, your baseline calories that you would burn just by existing will be higher. So you can basically eat a lot more just by default. Higher amounts of muscle on your own body anyway, like I say, it requires more food coming in just to be able to sustain. When you do more bulks or when you cut, you're basically eating more food than you would have been used to before. So someone that's 69 kilos, 68 kilos with very low amount of muscle mass, they're probably eating, like I was, I at some point had to go to 1200 calories, 1300 calories, and this is no joke, and I did that for a good month because I was obviously at the end of my cut because I couldn't do any more. Now I couldn't sustain that now. So if you obviously hold a lot more muscle and let's say you go down to 70 kilos, you're probably going to be eating about 2500 calories, 2400 calories, and your appetite will be completely fine. The reason I tell you is I can't be the only person in this whole world with the same issue. I've spoken to a few people, and it's very, very sad. You know, some people are completely screwed on from the start. They cut the fat and they can build muscle, and they're not really overthinking and sort of panicking and all, which is something I've been guilty of in the past. Now, my situation has changed. The reason I'm making this video, number one, is first of all, if you do relate to this, if you don't watch this video or if you don't find out soon enough, what's going to happen is, unfortunately, it's very, very sad. You'll probably be constantly cutting calories and basically constantly cutting, binging, and then giving yourself an actual eating disorder, because this is not how you would live life. This is not normal, okay? But you shouldn't be constantly sort of measuring your success, I suppose, with how lean you are or how small you are, how less you weigh on the scale. There's a lot more to it. You need to kind of unlock another level of I'd like to use the word freedom, but I'm just trying to say, like, if you have a better physique in terms of more muscle mass, more food, better hormone balances, and as well as getting away with just, like I say, more food, and you can train better and actually look better. That's exactly what we're doing it for. So rather than being a little overthinker, a little nerd, trying to work out how much all this is, that is, put some muscle on, knuckle down, and then obviously gain some mass, and then that will be your ticket to freedom, as I say. And this is not me speaking from a pedestal situation, nowhere near. I'm just telling you this because that's exactly what I'm about to do and what you are going to watch. Again, I tell you this because I've obviously started a series saying I'm cutting. I'm going to quickly give you a brief overview of kind of my history. I'm going to literally gloss over it quickly because I don't know if you guys are going to be interested in that. Okay, so I started training, I'm 29. I started training when I was about 18 years old, okay? For, I would like to say anyway, personally, 5 years, I was just messing about because it was some of our friends. We would go online. One day we'd do the Rocks program, the next day we'd do some other program, the next day we'd buy something from some influencer, worry about mass gainer, so everything stupid, like bro splits, ineffective, but bro splits as well. We would train really hard, so we thought, no progressive overload, we just go do different things every single time. So it was a mess for the first 5 years. In COVID, I kind of realized, I was looking in the mirror, I was thinking, like, oh, come on, this is during the lockdown, yeah? And I was like, this is not what I was trying to do. I mean, I thought I was just basically blindly saying, I'll close my eyes and trust the process and just, it will work out. Eventually, this is how everyone does it anyway. I'm getting stronger, I'm getting bigger. I was getting bigger in the wrong way. So I had to look at myself and I said, was this the physique I basically sought out? What the hell am I doing here? So what I did was I found Greg Doucette and I found his dieting videos and I started losing a good amount of weight. Then I found Steve Shaw. From him, I found Faz Lifts, and eventually he was the coach that I ended up basically taking on long term. But the reason I tell you the history is because I'm that person, and I've been in bulk and cut cycles for quite a while. First of all, bulking cutting is very, very specialized. Okay, if you don't know how to eat properly, you have no business bulking and cutting. First of all, clean your food up. Make sure you're able to adhere to a certain amount of food. Once you've done that for a month or two, then you can probably say, like, okay, I'm going to push my food slightly less to get my desired outcome, or push my food more to get my desired outcome, depending on what that may be. Now, I was very, very good at that. Remember what I said to you in the beginning? This dieter is very good at losing fat, but when it comes to building muscle, everything falls apart. So, welcome to my world. So this is what I'm doing. Now, I'm going to document this now. So every time I've cut in bulk, it's taken away something from me. And this time I've tried to cut, I've done this previously through the year as well, where I've tried to basically cut, and my the training would just suck. I was losing strength, even though it was like a minor cut. The scale would drop, but I would find myself more lethargic, even though it was a minor deficit. So in an ideal scenario, if you're watching this and you're thinking, what is going on about? He's probably like 20% body fat, maybe even more, maybe even around that number. Why is he not getting lean before bulking? The diets are just not sustainable for me. So what I'm doing is, I'm doing a maintenance phase now for the next 4 weeks, about 2,500 calories, stabilize everything, just to make sure I'm back operating at normal levels again. I'm not looking for food, and the binging tendencies are at bay. I've already now done this, by the way, for 3 days, and I feel fantastic, finally, after a long time. And my training has much improved as well. From that point, I'm only going to be putting up my calories by about 200 more. So we're looking at 2,700 calories. Now, discipline will be very, very important during this time, just as it is with the cut as well. And I know, obviously, I am not someone that has willpower issues because I've done that huge cut of 50 kilos, and then I had ballooned up back then, and I cut all that fat again. I'd ballooned up back again, and I've cut all that again. And then this last time, the bulk was somewhat productive, but due to my other issues that I've spoken in the previous videos, I've had to, obviously, my training kind of went wayward, and my strength levels are the way they are now. But That's what I'm doing. I'm going to basically bulk for or gain, be in a gaining phase for about 12 months. Chances are I'm going to put on some fat, right? But I've done the calculations. If I train correctly, do everything properly, eat sensibly, and maybe have some mini cuts here and there as and when they are needed, I should probably only put on like 1 or 2% body fat. And versus the muscle mass that I'm going to gain and all the benefits we spoke about before in terms of how much more you can eat, how you perform, how you look, it's just priceless for me. It will finally give me the freedom to be able to eat slightly more, because these numbers that I'm hovering around 1800 calories, 2200 calories, 2000 calories, it's not sustainable for me anymore. And chances are, if you have been someone that's been struggling, sort of blown up again, chances are if you can eat a good amount, so even if you're roughly around your maintenance or slightly lower, you could lose fat and come back in a decent shape. I was trying to do a fast cut, and that's something that's not going to operate for me anymore. And this is the path I've taken. You guys obviously will be able to see this. I'm not doing a fat bulk or anything like that. You know, like going all, like basically eating all sorts of crap. This will be still measured and controlled. Demolition job, basically a 12-month bulk that I'm going to embark on. I'm going to show you this now because I want people to be able to watch this. I want you to be able to see this and say, I'm not afraid anymore, because there's so many people that are so obsessed with being 10% body fat, 15%, 12% body fat before they bulk, and it just never happens because they can never cut through properly and they're dealing with binge cycles. And this is actually a very large amount of people. Don't be fooled what you see online on Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Those guys are obviously doing a fantastic job. It's great, but that person's not you. You could be someone that's at 12% body fat, 15% body fat, but you just can't get any leaner or any bigger because you're just not giving yourself that energy or time or discipline to be able to put some mass on. And I'm pretty confident in this plan. Now, if you're stuck in a cycle or you're interested to see how this journey would work on someone that's around 20% body fat and is choosing to gain, oh no, follow this video. Oh shit. Subscribe to this channel and follow my journey, not the other way around. Don't subscribe to my journey and follow the channel. That's completely whatever. Subscribe to my channel and let's go through it together, and hopefully during that whole journey I'll be doing full day of eating, full day of trainings, recipe videos, other bits, you know, standard fitness journey stuff that you guys can enjoy and tag along. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and hopefully this was informative. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.